198, Zhuge Liang moved to Henan province to study under the tutelage of Huang Chengyan, the palace squire. And as soon as some time had gone by, Huang decided to approach his student with a daring proposal.
I have an ugly daughter, but I heard you were looking for a wife. She has a yellow face, dark skin, and red hair. But I think her wit is well matched with yours.
Zhuge Liang courteously turned down the offer, and the two never brought up the issue again. One day, Zhuge Liang paid a visit to his mentor's home, and he quickly got lost in the hallways and soon was attacked by two dogs. While frightened out of his wits, the maid came by and pat the dogs on their head, making them stand still. Upon closer inspection, Zhuge Liang saw that the dogs were made of wood and mechanical in nature. Venturing further into the mansion, Zhuge Liang happened upon two tigers, both of which were mechanical. But Zhuge Liang had no clue how to subdue them as the maid did, who once again came to his rescue and then escorted the young student to his mentor's office. Zhuge Liang would then express his amazement at his mentor's strange machines around the manor. But Huang corrected his student and said that the machinations were inventions of his ugly daughter, Yueying. Intrigued by this, Zhuge Liang agreed to meet Huang's daughter face to face. On the night of the meeting, Zhuge Liang was presented with Lady Huang, who had obscured her face by wearing a thick layer of veils over her head. However, Zhuge Liang was able to see her silhouette through the yellow moonlight and could make out the shape of her face. Seeing through her disguise, he decided to remove the cloths from her head and rightly deduced that Lady Huang created the rumors that she was extremely unattractive to drive off anyone who wanted her for her beauty and not for anything else. He was rewarded with Yueying's joyous visage and gratitude. Huang Chengyan was happy with his decision and quickly set up the marriage.
Don't be like Zhuge Liang when you choose a wife. He ended up with Huang Chengyang's ugly daughter.
Not much is known about Yueying historically, but folklore often depicts her as being as intelligent and well-studied as her husband. Though her marriage was arranged, she genuinely loves her husband and will do anything in her power to help shoulder his burdens. Zhuge Liang and Lady Huang would help and learn from each other over time, and it is said that many of Zhuge Liang's ideas came from his discussions with his wife. She was polite, cordial, and kind towards others. To her friends and loved ones, she was very generous and can be quite nurturing to young people. In the game, she is always depicted as a mature and collected individual that appreciates the value of patience and planning, and takes great pride in her skills and learned abilities. Though she can be quite sadistic and at times will openly chastise those whom act selfishly and insensitively. The best example being,
"Will he hide behind your skirts again today, pretending to strategize?"
I hear that the Prince of Wei confuses mere tricks with true wisdom. And, judging from the both of you, I can see that they spoke the truth.
Straight savage. Her design is largely based off of the folklore surrounding her appearance, where she was rumored to be ugly. However, other tales claim that she probably wasn't even Chinese at all, but from a different part of the world entirely, such as Europe or Indonesia. This is reflected in her Western armor design from the earlier games, and the red bindi in the middle of her forehead, which is used in Hindu culture to indicate marriage. And throughout the entire series, Koei Tecmo has maintained these elements about her beauty. But also, as time went on, they've since dropped the battle maiden aesthetic from her first two appearances in favor of clothing that complemented her intelligence, even sometimes using weapons that were more appropriate for her character, like the blade bow that appears in Dynasty Warriors 6 and 8. The reason why Yueying uses a scythe throughout most of the series is likely inspired by the rumor that Yueying took over Zhuge Liang's household chores, including the farming, and a scythe is supposed to be used to harvest wheat, and not edgelordery. And her only reoccurring weapon of note is the Moonlight, which is in reference to how Zhuge Liang used the yellow light of the moon to see through her disguise. The Asian version of the weapon names have a motif of water reflecting light, Kyoka Suigetsu. Within Chinese mythology, dragons are often said to dwell within bodies of water. Some are eternally bound to live in their underwater dwellings, and are never destined to rise to the heavens, with only the light of the blue pale moon to give them solace. Meaning that this weapon's name is possibly an allusion to Xiangyang, the sleeping dragon, gazing up at Yueying, the extraordinary blue moon, which is supposed to be yellow in the folklore, but that's not what's important. She also wields the blade bow in Dynasty Warriors 6 and Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, which has a motif of wings, symbolizing a flying phoenix. And unlike other couples in this series, she acts independently from her husband, implementing plans and strategies that are unique obstacles to the opposition. Throughout the series, she is accredited for inventing the various machinations of Shu, such as the juggernaut used in the southern campaigns and the wooden oxes used to protect supply lines. These are all referenced and utilized heavily during her appearances on the battlefield, introducing some kind of machine as an obstacle or tool to be used. These are also incorporated into her Muso attacks, the Ground Burst, Bombardier, and Tiger Tank Bomber, where she summons these machines to attack her enemies. Yueying continued to live happily with her husband and soon bore him a son, Zhuge. However, after her husband's death at Wuzhong, she too soon fell ill and died, with her last words to her son being,
Be loyal and filial.
To me, Yueying was always an interesting character because she was always tied to a very interesting gimmick, introducing juggernauts and various machines that you'll encounter throughout the campaigns. And for me, it's very interesting that they implement her that way. But hey, enough about me, let's see more of that catfight.
Silence, you! You cannot speak of my lord that way!
Nor can you of mine. Take this!